Alright, we are live, ladies and germs. This freaking cat. What are you doing? Huh? Silly shit. Yeah, the cat's wanting some affectionate attention as I'm trying to finally get this Kansas review done. Silly ass. And yes, I know this is coming way later than it should, but like I said last week, it's been a very busy week. Cat, get your tail off the keyboard. But we're going to get through it today because we got Martinsville tomorrow, and it's the final race in the round of 8 before we finally set the championship rounds. So let's get into it. This is the fuel. What's happening, ladies and germs? This is the Packer-Man. Welcome to tonight's edition of The Fuel. Here on this Saturday, October 30th, 2021, where tonight we are going to be reviewing the 2021 Hollywood Casino 400 from the Kansas Speedway. So 120th edition of The Fuel. Title of this episode, No Mercy. Because that's basically what Kyle Larson showed to the rest of the field. Absolutely no mercy in this race. Cat, don't start. This was Larson's 9th victory of 2021. He has just been absolutely unbelievable in this season. The season of parity, as it were. Because we've had so many different winners this season. But out of all those, he is definitely the most dominant. Being that this is his 9th win of 2021. And he also accomplished something that puts him in kind of rarefied air. He's the first driver to three-peat in a season twice since Dale Earnhardt Sr. in 1987. That's pretty elite company, if I may say so myself. But before we get into the review itself, there's a couple of news stories that we need to go over. These are a little bit late to the party, but I didn't do these last week because I wasn't in the mood to do the Texas review. I just said, screw it, let's just get to this as quick as possible. So, the 2311 charter deal that they had with, well, they were trying to get a charter deal from Front Row Motorsports, but Front Row has walked away from final talks. So it doesn't look like 2311 is going to have a charter for one of their teams. They're likely to talk with Spire Motorsports, excuse me, which is expected to have at least 2 charters in 2022, and Front Row Motorsports looks like it could remain a 2-car Cup team in 2022. So I don't think it's going to really hurt 2311 all that much. I'm pretty sure that they'll be able to get a charter from somewhere else. And one of those might be if the Rick Ware Racing number 53 car, I believe it is. It's one of their cars. There's a rule where if your team is the lowest finishing team, that particular number and stuff is the lowest finishing team 3 years in a row in the owner's standings, the NASCAR would then have the right to take the charter away from them. So that could be one possibility. But we'll have to wait and see what happens, though. But the other headline is one that just kind of irritates the shit out of me because, quite frankly, I'm sick and tired of talking about it. Evidently, Chase Elliott is living rent-free in Kevin Harvick's head. Because at Texas, he basically made a comment stating that, oh, I don't know why Chase Elliott is worried about me. He needs to really worry about, getting this car to be better than the 5 car. And I'm just kind of like, I'm sorry. Who's still in the hunt for the championship and who's not again? And then recently, on NASCAR Race Hub on Fox, I guess he was asked, what do you take away from your 2021 season? And Harvick says that his Roval wreck will be the Chase Elliott fan club video for the rest of their existence. Well, while that may be true, Harvick, seriously, why on God's green earth do you need to keep bringing this shit with Chase Elliott up, huh? Okay? You need to let this fucking shit go. Okay? It's been over a month since that happened between you and Elliott at Bristol. Okay? It's time to move on from this shit. Alright? Even NASCAR has gotten sick of the fucking bullshit between you two. As they warned you to, that if there was any more, shit like we saw at the Roval, then, there would be severe consequences. And evidently, you just can't get Chase Elliott out of your head. I mean, I don't know if you're growing fucking senile in your age. I mean, I know you're only in your mid-40s, but Jesus Christ. I mean, sometimes you don't seem to act like it. Okay? And I think a lot of us are just sick and fucking tired of this shit. It's gone on long enough. It's time to move on. Stop fucking bringing it up. Alright? Is that too much to ask? How about you focus on trying to win a race this fucking season? Because it's looking like you're not going to do a goddamn thing. Anyway, now that that's over with, just wanted to get that out of the way because that was seriously pissing me off. Let's go ahead and get into this review and get it done and over with, because I got other shit to do. We get ready for Martinsville tomorrow. So stages broke down like this for the Hollywood Casino 400. I need to click it on this. That would probably be good too. 267 lap race. Stages broke down 80, 80, and 107. And Kyle Larson, by virtue of his win last week, and of course helping him with the formula that they used for qualifying, which thankfully I think is going away, and we're going back to practice and qualifying next year, which would be good. So Larson starts from the pole. Larson leads lap 1 as everyone fans out behind him. Keselowski moves up to second. Got a big wad of cars from 6th on back, but then we get our first caution on lap 11 for rain. So we have to have a red flag for rain and a lightning delay. Cat, get off my book. My notes. Little shit. But they eventually get back going again. Larson leads on the restart. Keselowski tries to challenge Larson for the lead. Byron moves up to 4th, but drops back after Blaney comes down and takes the air off of his front end. Blaney touches the wall off turn 2. And we get our second caution on lap 23. when Kyle Busch has a flat right front tire after smacking the wall. And they decided this would also be the competition caution. So everyone comes in for service. De Benedetto and Almirola take just fuel to get out first. And this leads into what I would definitely say was the best part of this race. This led to a very quick flurry of lead changes. De Benedetto leads on the restart. Larson takes the lead back on the restart, like he leads the first lap after the restart. But then Matty D fights back on the low side and retakes the lead for our first period lead change on lap 29. But then Larson fights back again on the outside and reclaims the lead the very next lap on lap 30. Elliott and Byron go by the 21 for second and third, and was now racing hard for the second position and would also catch their teammate Larson. So it was a three-way battle between Hendrick teammates for the race lead for the next several laps. Chase Elliott manages to get by for his share at the lead on lap 33 for our third pure lead change. Truex and Keselowski make contact down the backstretch, affecting the right front of the two. And then William Byron was able to get by Elliott to take the lead for himself on lap 35 for our fourth pure lead change. So the 300 cars passing the lead back and forth, with Larson getting back to the front on lap 37 for our fifth pure lead change. So in a matter of 8 laps, we had 5 pure lead changes, with 6 overall. Damn. So needless to say, this was the most entertaining portion of the day, because I mean these guys were just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth over the course of 10 laps, which was insanity. Keselowski has a flat right rear tire and has to make an emergency stop, obviously from the contact. And wind gusts were really playing havoc with the cars. After that rain shower moved out, all of a sudden there was like crosswinds coming across the track. And it was really affecting the handling of the cars. Like you coming off of turn 2, and the cars were just loosey-goosey all over the place. Logano reporting a vibration on lap 43. Truex also hits the wall and cuts down a tire, a right rear this time. The third playoff driver to suffer trouble. Ryan Blaney then becomes the fourth driver to hit the wall and lose a right side tire. So that's 4 playoff guys that ended up in trouble during this first stage. Kyle Larson wins stage number 1. So everyone comes in for service, and Larson wins the race off pit road. Stage number 2, also 80 laps. Larson leads on the start of stage 2. It's suddenly gotten cloudy once again. It was the sun was poking through in some places, but now all of a sudden it was cloudy and overcast again at this point in the race. But Elliott would be able to take the lead once again on lap 88 for our 6th pure lead change of the day. Larson, Elliott, Byron, Harvick, Hamlin, and Kurt Busch were all in a big pack for the race lead. Byron gets by Larson for second. We have a Hendrick 1-2-3 once again, and they were battling each other for the lead once again. Bubba Wallace kicks off green flag stops on lap 119. Elliott pits in the lead on lap 123. Logano tries to play the long game. Kind of has to, since he blew the engine at Texas. Kyle Busch makes an emergency stop after smacking the wall. Byron gets by Elliott for second. Logano finally pits on lap 146. But the left front might have not had all lug nuts on it, so he was reporting a vibration. Byron cycles back with the lead and ends up winning stage number 2. Very uneventful stage, but it went by pretty quickly, and it had some interesting points as well. So stage 3, 107 laps. Everyone comes in for service. Larson wins the race off pit road, so he leads the start of stage 3. This is when things got a little wee bit messy. Not as messy as it did at Texas, though. Byron leads the lap after the restart, but Larson fights back on the high side. Tyler Reddick makes a bonsai move to the high side to make it 3 wide for the lead, but Kyle Larson would end up out in front on lap 170 for our 7th pure lead change of the day. But then we have our third caution on lap 173 when Anthony Alfredo pounds the wall hard on the front stretch after losing the right front tire. Most of the field comes in for service. Tyler Reddick leads on the restart this time, because I guess he was in front when the caution came out. Kurt Busch dives underneath of Reddick, putting him in the middle, and it allows Larson to come out with the lead on the high side. Larson, Kurt Busch, and Byron start fighting hard for the race lead. Byron challenges Larson for the lead and takes it on lap 186 for our 8th pure lead change. Larson slides into the wall in turn 2. It keeps going. Fortunately, no tires cut down this time. Keselowski kicks off green flag pit stops on lap 215, but immediately gets burned by it on our 4th caution on lap 218. Ryan Newman spins off of turn 2 by himself. So Keselowski just gets completely screwed on that one. Everyone comes in for service. Byron wins the race off pit road, but has to come back down pit road to tighten lug nuts. Ouch. So that pretty much eliminates him from the race win. Kurt Busch leads on the restart. We have 3 wide for lead as on the restart as Elliott surges to the front. Then we get our 5th and final caution on lap 224 when Austin Dillon gets loose in turns 1 and 2. Corrects, gets into Ryan Blaney, who gets turned into the wall, causing terminal damage. And Blaney had like a 30 some odd point advantage over the cut line, but this drops it all the way down to him being -1 below the cut line. So this changed things in a hurry. So Elliott leads on the restart. We have 4 wide down the back stretch as Larson gets the lead on the restart, and that is the last anyone would see of that. Hamlin splits Harvick and Kurt Busch for 2nd. We have 4 cars under a blanket for the lead as Larson, Harvick, Kurt Busch, and Elliott fight it out for the lead. Reddick with a flat right front tire. I almost said fright. Oh, it is Halloween. Reddick with a flat right front tire and has to pit. Elliott gets by Kurt Busch for 3rd and then takes 2nd away from Harvick. Lol. Larson with a 1.3 second lead over Elliott with 10 laps to go. Elliott was catching him slowly but surely, and so much so, but he was pushing way harder than he probably should have, and was actually scraping the wall several times. And thankfully for him, he didn't have any tires cut down because he actually had himself a pretty good advantage over the cut line at this point. But of course he wanted to win because he's finished 2nd to Larson like 5 times this year. So I'm pretty sure he was getting sick of that. But Kyle Larson wins the Hollywood Casino 400 for his 9th win of 2021. So we now have 2 races remaining in the 2021 Cup Series season. Martinsville and Phoenix. We're almost to the end, folks. Almost to the end. So, let's give you some statistics here. Race results, points, my final rating, and then we'll get out of here. So there were 23 overall lead changes in this race, which is a far higher number than we saw at Texas. In fact, nearly 3 times as many. With 8 pure lead changes overall, so not bad. Only 5 cautions as opposed to Texas's 9. And there were 2,401 green flag passes overall, which comes out to an average of about 10.3 per lap. So we had 50% more green flag passes at Kansas in a shorter race. That makes you wonder, doesn't it? Alright, so, and if you haven't gathered already, Hollywood Casino 400 was much better than the race at Texas. I mean, Kansas wasn't spectacular by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm not going to completely shit on it either. Even though I don't think Kansas Speedway should have 2 dates, but that's another discussion for another time. But race results. Kyle Larson wins from the pole. Chase Elliott comes home 2nd. Kevin Harvick in 3rd. Kurt Busch in 4th. Denny Hamlin in 5th. Rest of the top 10, William Byron, Martin Truex Jr., who came back from a flat tire. Byron, who had to come back after missing lug nuts on 1 pit stop, comes back to finish 6th. Christopher Bell in 8th. Joey Logano in 9th. And Austin Dillon rounds out the top 10. So heading into the final race before we have the championship 4. Kyle Larson, of course, has already advanced, and he has 2 wins in this round now, and of course 3 wins in a row. Chase Elliott with a plus 34. Still not safe, though, and neither is Denny Hamlin, who has a plus 32. But when you look at 4th on down, it's sitting on the stove and sweating ice water. Kyle Busch is 4th. He has the final spot in the championship 4 right now, but is only plus 1 to the good. Ryan Blaney, surefire, looked like he was going to have a plus 30 advantage, but that wreck with, I think it was Anthony Alfredo. I can't remember who it was. No, it wasn't Anthony Alfredo. It was Austin Dillon. And got wrecked, and that pretty much obliterated his points cushion. So he's at -1. Martin Truex Jr. at -3. Brad Keselowski at -6. Those four guys, they're going to be the main focus of the conversation. Logano, he's -26, so he's probably more than likely going to need a win in all likelihood. Because I don't foresee him pointing his way in at -26. Move your tail. But the other four guys, Kyle Busch, Ryan Blaney, Martin Truex Jr., and Brad Keselowski, they're going to be the main focus of attention at Martinsville because look how close that is. Only 7 points separates those four drivers for one championship 4 spot. And there's 3 up for grabs, by the way. Elliott and Hamlin have a huge advantage, but they're not safe by any stretch of the imagination. So, Martinsville's going to be interesting to say the least. As for my final rating for the Hollywood Casino 400, it wasn't anything special, but it wasn't complete garbage either. It had some good points. There were some points where it was like, yeah, not so good, but I mean, it is what it is. So, my final rating, I'll give it a 5 on the fuel gauge, so right down the middle. It was alright. Not the best, but not the worst either. But, that's going to do it for this edition of the Fuel. We just have 2 more Cup reviews. And I've decided I'm just going to put the rest of the Formula 1 season in one massive debrief, so it's like 5 or 6 races. I'll put one massive debrief, and that'll be that for the 2021 racing season. Which means there's just 3 episodes of the Fuel left in 2021. It's been one hell of a season, to say the least. But that's going to do it for tonight's edition of the Fuel, and I will see you tomorrow, hopefully, when we find out who the championship 4 is going to be in 2021 after Martinsville. So thank you very much for watching, and until next time, this is the Packerman signing out. See you later.
Thank you for watching tonight's video. Be sure to like and subscribe, you rats!